of April 28th, 2021. Commissioners, please mute your mics and then stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, Commissioner Chair Kuru, could you please read the statement of values?
Thank you, Chair. As we gather, we humbly seek blessings upon this meeting. May we act with strength, courage, and will to perform our obligations and duties to our people with justice to all. Let us seek wisdom so that we may act in the best interest of our people, our neighbors, and our country. All this we ask so we may serve our community with fairness and respect, putting their needs before all.
Thank you. So we can sit again, and then Elizabeth, please read the roll.
Commissioner Biagini,
Here.
Commissioner Chair Kuru,
Here.
Commissioner Hero. Commissioner Hero, you are muted.
Here.
Thank you. Commissioner Wang,
Here.
Commissioner Akazi,
Here.
Chair Salim.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. There's no absent members, so we don't need to move through that section. Declaration of Commission Procedures. Commissioner Chair Kuru, could you please read that section?
Thank you, Chair. Public hearings are conducted by the Chair in accordance with the following procedures. The Chair of the Commission directs all activity during the hearings. All comments shall be addressed to the Commission. Any item on this agenda may be continued to a subsequent hearing. Applicants will be allotted up to 10 minutes to present and justify proposals following staff presentation of the item. Other speakers will be given up to 2 minutes. The applicant is allotted up to 5 minutes for rebuttal of comments. No additional comments will be accepted upon the close of public hearing, although the Commission reserves the right to direct questions to any speaker on any matter. Special procedures, time limits may be applied to any items as prescribed by the Chair. Appeal of Commission actions must be filed in writing within 7 calendar days. That's the end of declaration of procedures.
Thank you. So copies of the current agenda and staff reports for each of the items on the agenda are available from the Planning Division office on the Friday afternoon preceding the meeting and available online. So we're into continuances and exceptions. This part of the meeting allows for applicants, members of the public, or other interested parties to request an item be 1, continued without a hearing, or 2, withdrawn, or 3, taken out of order. Are there any requests from applicants, the public, or the Commission for a continuance or exception of any of the items on tonight's agenda?
Chair, there are none.
Okay. Yet. So we will move on to the consent calendar. Commissioner Chair Kuru, can you read that section?
The procedure for the consent calendar is as follows. Consent calendar items may be enacted, approved, or adopted by one motion unless requested to be removed by anyone for discussion or explanation. If any member of the Planning Commission staff, the applicant, or a member of the public wishes to comment on a consent calendar item or would like the item to be heard on the regular agenda, please make your request now. Items listed on the consent calendar with associated file numbers are 1A, Planning Commission meeting minutes of April 14, 2021, 1B, Planning Commission meeting minutes of September 23rd, 2020, 1C, Planning Commission meeting minutes of February 24th, 2020.
Excuse me, Commissioner Chair Kuru, I think you're looking at the past agenda.
Oh,
We
I'm
have
sorry.
one item. That's okay. We have one item on the consent calendar.
I
And
see
is the
3
plan-
also. 4.
No, I only see one for the April 14th.
You're right. There's only one.
Yeah.
There is only one, Chair.
Did you want to
Just-
go ahead and read that? What the item is?
Planning Commission meeting minutes of the April 14th. This correct? Okay.
Correct.
This
Thank
was
you.
in the notes. I apologize. Sorry.
The April 14th minutes themselves lists 4 items. So maybe if you're looking at those minutes is what you're,
Okay.
why there's 4 items, Chair.
Interesting. My cheat sheet shows A through D, but that's okay.
I apologize if that's an error on my end, but if you look at the agenda, it is one item for the consent calendar.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So
So
moved.
moved.
Second.
Second.
Help me there. Who made the motion?
Commissioner
Several.
Commissioner Bucini.
And seconded by Commissioner Casey.
Thank you.
Okay.
The motion is to approve the consent calendar. Commissioner Biagini,
Yes.
Commissioner Cherukuru,
Yes.
Commissioner Hero,
Yes.
Commissioner Wang,
Yes.
Commissioner Akazi.
Yes.
Chair Salame.
Yes.
Thank you.
I see it passes unanimously. We can move on to public presentations. Are there any members of the public that would like to briefly address the commission on any item not on the agenda?
There are no hands raised in Zoom.
Okay, thank you. That moves us on to the public hearing. This is for items 2 and 3. Action on the El Camino Real specific plan, general plan amendment for the creation of 4 new general plan land use designations, creation of the El Camino Real zoning districts and environmental impact reports. Staff is requesting, I understand that I don't need to read this section. We will continue this item at the request of staff. And then the second item is an action on the conditional use permit of Twister's Gymnastics to allow a youth gymnastics center at 2800 Bowers. So,
Yes, so Chair Salame, if you will just take the first item, item 2, and open the public hearing. And then we will continue this item without public comment.
okay. I don't know if there are any commissioners looking to speak before we open to public comment, but I think that we will be hearing mostly about this on the 10th. So do I hear a motion to continue?
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair. First, if you would simply say the words, I declare the public hearing open.
Oh, well, I was waiting to hear if there were any commissioners wishing to speak before the public hearing, which is the normal procedure. But as I said, it's going to be discussed on the 10th. So I declare the item to be open to public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're more than welcome. Now, do I hear a motion to continue?
So moved.
Okay, Commissioner Biagini,
Second, Priya.
Commissioner Cherukuru. Thank you.
The motion is to continue the item to the May 10th meeting. Commissioner Biagini. You are muted.
Yes. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's okay. Commissioner Cherukuru,
Yes, thank you.
Commissioner Hero,
Yes.
Commissioner Wang,
Yes.
Commissioner Akazi.
Yes.
Chair Salame.
Yes.
Thank you.
So the continuance will leave the public discussion open on the 10th. So we will
Correct.
immediately have public discussion instead of the normal pre-opening of the public discussion.
Well, Mr. Chair, it's all right to still have the normal staff presentation, even though technically the public hearing is open.
Yeah.
But it will simply be a continuance of the existing public
Right.
hearing. to avoid-
Through the
avoid-
chair, just out of curiosity, do we have members of public interested to at least give their comments to this item without it? I'm just asking.
Without
now. I
hearing
mean, do we
it.
have people here?
Um,
No? Okay,
there's
I'm
no-
I'm not certain. Okay,
So they will definitely have that opportunity next time, and this will include a presentation by staff,
Okay.
the normal course of our presentation and exchange with the commission, and then followed by the public comment. So it was just to continue the item in its entirety to that next meeting. So thank
got
you.
it, got it. Thank you.
So I'm waiting to hear the votes. Yes.
I'm a yes when we get
Uh,
there.
We could do consensus if that you want to
Oh,
make it
I
go
thought we
quicker.
took the vote. Okay.
Commissioner
do we-
Saleem, Chair Saleem, we took the vote to
We took the vote.
continue to May 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't see it go by. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It was just
Don't
flash.
mind me. I'm new to this. I've only been going at it for 3 years.
More coffee?
Thank you.
Bottle of water, rehydrate my brain. All right, so I guess we can move on to item number 2. I believe there's going to be a presentation, short presentation to discuss the use permit.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's technically agenda item 3, 21534. Okay. So if you could just read either you or Commissioner Chirukuru the description.
I thought I had action of a conditional use permit for Twisters Gymnastics to allow a youth gymnastics center at 2800 Bowers Avenue.
Okay, thank you. And our project manager and project planner, Tiffany Vian, will be providing the presentation for you this evening.
Thank you.
So Tiffany, whenever you're ready, please begin your presentation.
Thank you. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hello, this is Tiffany, and I am the project planner for the use permit at 2800 Bowers Avenue. So as stated before, the request is for the project is for a use permit to allow for recreational use for a youth gymnastics center in an existing industrial warehouse in the space at 2800 Bowers Avenue.
Tiffany, your screen is a little cut off.
Okay, let me fix it.
Thank you.
Is it showing clearly now?
Oh,
Yeah, now it's good.
Okay, great. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Karen.
So the project site is located on the northwest corner of the intersection of Bowers Avenue and Meade Avenue. The property to the left of the subject site has existing recreational use tenants in an industrial zone property. So tenant space is a 10,674 square foot unit within a 21,106 square foot one-story industrial building. The subject property has a general plan designation of high intensity office RMG. The site is also located within a general plan exception area for places of assembly and entertainment uses. There are other gyms already located within this exception area, including Bravo Rhythmic Gymnastics at 2911 Meade Avenue. The subject property is within the light industrial zoning district. The gymnastics center is not permitted by right in the zoning district. However, pursuant to zoning code pertaining to the ML zoning district, uses that are not permitted by right, but that are appropriate for an industrial area can be conditionally permitted in the ML zoning district through the approval of a use permit by the Planning Commission. So this is the proposed floor plan. The business owner previously operated Twisters Gymnastics in Sunnyvale and is now seeking to operate in Santa Clara at the property located at 2800 Bowers. Twister currently employs 7 full-time employees and 20 part-time employees. Twister offers quality sports, instruction, and entertainment services to youth ages 18 months to 18 years of age. Twisters will also provide after-school activities and shuttle services for youth in the local Santa Clara community. The industrial building at 2800 Bowers is in close proximity to other recreational centers such as Sky High Sports, Pump It Up, City Beach, and K1 Speed. The proposed project is categorically exempt from CEQA in that the use is confined within an existing on-site facility. The parking ratio for this use is 1 space for every 200 square feet. As mentioned before, the 2 units on site, 2800 and 2810 Bowers Avenue, will share a parking lot. The applicants have requested a minor modification for reduced on-site parking, where 62 spaces are required, but 48 spaces are existing on site, and this results in a 22% deviation. To support this request, a parking study was prepared by Hexagon Transportation Consultants. The subject property has also received correction notices for tenant improvement work that was completed without the benefit of a permit. Twisters also started holding classes at the subject site before approval of the use permit. They have since ceased operations after receiving these violation notices. So the recommendation from staff is to adopt a resolution to approve a use permit to allow for recreational use, which is the Youth Gymnastics Center in an industrial tenant space at 2800 Flowers Avenue. And that concludes the staff presentation. Thank you.
Actually have to find my mouse in order to unmute myself. Thank you. Other comments by the commissioners before we open to the public? I assume also we're going to have a presentation by the property owner.
Tiffany, does the applicant have a presentation?
I do not believe the applicants have a presentation prepared, but they are here. So if they would like to say a few words, they're able to.
Are there time constraints?
Yeah, 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. My name is Alan Fusilero, and this is my wife, Erica Fusilero. We are the owners of Twisters Gymnastics. We have been owners for the last 15 years. We started in Mountain View in 2006. We took over Twisters Gymnastics from Ron Ludwig and Nancy Clute, who had owned it from 1967 to 2006. Over the time that we've owned Twisters, we've had city contracts with the city of Mountain View, Parks and Rec, Palo Alto, Los Altos, and Cupertino. In 2014, we were really forced to move out of our facility. And so we moved to Sunnyvale. There was going to be, I believe the owner wanted to revamp the area. So the new owner bought 3 buildings, including ours. And I believe he was going to make a high-rise structure for one of the tenants like Facebook or Google. So we had to move to Sunnyvale very quickly in 2014. And we were given a 5-year lease. Our lease was up in December of 2019. And the owner, Varney Properties, allowed us to stay there until we were able to relocate. We started this process with looking for a new facility January of 2020, while we were still in Sunnyvale off of Fair Oaks. And that's when COVID hit. So we were in the middle of moving when COVID hit. So we have not been operating since March 14th of 2020. But we've been I think over the last 15 years, we've done a lot of good for the community. We have a sound reputation in Santa Clara County, just in general. We've served the county well. A lot of our kids go on to college. It's a very positive environment. We pride ourselves on making it a very supportive community and an educational setting. And that's what we continue, we want to continue in Santa Clara. So basically the reason for our move, one, it's about 1.5 miles down the street. But we've also been pushed south because of the rising cost in the building rates.
Okay, well, thank you. I saw the letter of support from the high school or from the school. Yeah, that's very nice to see your contribution back to the youth for exercise and fitness, especially since everybody's been locked away for so long. It's a perfect time to get back and get healthy again. Are there any questions or comments from the commission? I see hands now. We'll do Commissioner Hero, then Akizi, then Chirukuru.
Thank you, Chair. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
So I also read the letter of support. I think it came from AWALT High School. Is that correct?
St. Francis.
St. Francis, excuse me. Yeah, the athletic director there. So in reading that, I was under the impression that you had more than one location.
We do not.
You do not.
No.
So COVID pretty much shut you down.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'd just like to also commend you for the support for the youth in that community and let you know that me personally, I look forward to your support for the youth in our community. Thank you so much for your application.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muting and unmuting. Commissioner Casey?
Thank you, Chair. Two quick questions. I'm sure you know you had to go through a lot of obstacles through this time. Can you describe quickly about what that code violation was about and why it happened? And secondly, how are you going to be making sure that your students and the instructors are safe from continued pandemic?
So just to first answer the question of why we opened, we were given a letter from the PCC, I believe, or the PPC, indicating that that it had already passed planning and it was on to the next phase. And I was under the impression that once it passed planning, then a conditional use permit was given. That was not the case. We received a complaint, and as soon as we received the complaint, we shut down immediately. We let all of our customers know that that we hadn't received it yet, and we've been shut down ever since.
Okay.
Thank you. How about
in
COVID
regards,
safety?
yeah, and
safety.
so with COVID safety, we've already notified all of our potentials. Everybody that comes into our facility has to come in and get a temperature check, and that's right at the front door. They also have to sanitize their hands. We have stickers all over the facility with 6-foot markers all over the gym. We've been using a UV light wands after every use.
For surfaces that can't be moistened.
Right. And everybody is required to wear a mask.
Our customers are vaccinated as well, but we're fully vaccinated as well.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. And do you have to operate at reduced capacity for? Yeah. Oh, I see. That's really hard. Well, just one more question. This is for the staff. Is the procedure for obtaining the use permit clear so that, I mean, during the COVID, I'm sure a lot of things were very difficult to decipher, but in the future, there won't be any confusions for the applicant. And that's still my last question. Oh, so that question was for the staff. Thank you.
Tiffany, can you respond to that question? And I can certainly add to that after we hear from Tiffany what her communication was with the applicants.
Yes, so the applicants did go through 2 rounds of PCC because there were continuous outstanding comments. So that did prolong the process of going through to the Planning Commission. However, it was stated that the approval of the use permit would be at the Planning Commission.
So it was made clear to the applicant. Okay, well, I understand. Thank you.
I see that Commissioner Cherukuru has dropped her hand. So Commissioner Biagini. Oh, now it's back.
Oh, do you want?
Go
do you
ahead,
want me to-
Commissioner. No, let's give Commissioner Cherukuru her
Okay.
chance since her hand bounced.
Actually, I was just acknowledging because Commissioner Biagini had one of the first hands up, but that's why I was like trying to step back and come back in. But thank you, Chair. I'll keep it short and brief. I did want to follow just a quick clarification. Were there extensive tenant improvements done ahead of this occupancy? And did it entail any code requirements like plumbing, electrical, those kinds of work done without permits, or were they done with permits and this is just the use permit that was not issued?
Tiffany, can you respond to that as well? I think you had some detailed information on the code violations, the extent, please.
Yes, I believe it was excavation on site and all the equipment was installed already. So I believe let me check, but I believe it was excavation, equipment installation. The concrete floor pit was created, new HVAC system.
Okay, agreed. Thank you. Thanks, staff, for addressing that. Alan, welcome to City of Santa Clara. It is something that we hope someday will come back to normal. I've been to your place in the past, as it was called Airborne Gymnastics. I could be wrong, but so it brought good visions back. You have had a good run, so I am surprised at your code violations. But we hope to cross that hurdle and get you back on your feet. So again, just wanted to welcome you and we look forward to you being here for a while. Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Biagini.
Hi there. So my questions have been answered. So it's just down to comments. I want to echo Commissioner Hero and Commissioner Cherukuru. I am so happy that you are coming to Santa Clara with youth activity. Even though there's other gymnastics in the area, the more that we give for our youth, the happier I am. And duly noted, the letter from Mr. Pulowski from St. Francis High, especially teenagers. Good to have something constructive for them. So welcome to the city and I applaud you for coming to Santa Clara. And I too hope you stay for a long time.
Thank you.
Okay,
Back to you, Chair.
thank you. So is there any rebuttal? No, actually, let's do the public part and then if there's any rebuttal. Is there anyone, I see a couple hands in the attendees list. No, one hand, two hands. Would you like to please activate Bonnie Sanders?
Bonnie, you have been unmuted.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Bonnie Sanders.
Yes.
I am a parent of my daughter, Sarah Sanders, has been at Twisters for the 15 years that they've operated. I was actually at Twisters before Alan and Erica took the gym over from Ron, and I have watched them do amazing things with their gymnastics gyms in each location. They are just incredible at setting up a gym in an exemplary way. I have no reservations about COVID safety just because I know how incredibly meticulous they are at cleanliness and having a really wonderful environment for the children. And they care so much about the kids. And that's like the most important thing. I've been just so impressed with how they've cared for my daughter. It really has been her second home. You know, for many, many years. She spent many hours at that gym with them as coaches. And I just want to speak on their behalf. You're inviting an incredible people into your community that will serve it very well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we also have someone from the Airborne Gymnastics. Maybe they could identify themselves as they speak. Thank you.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Leah Tanquary. I'm actually one of the owners of Airborne Gymnastics. I wanted to clear up, Twisters is not affiliated with Airborne Gymnastics at all. We've been in Santa Clara for 27 years and had gone through this same process of getting a conditional use permit. And I just wanted to get some clarification. We had looked at this location in October 2019 as we were trying to expand our facility and create another program for some of our youth and teenage participants. And we were told that the parking would never pass because there's just not enough parking space for the amount of square footage in the building. And then at the time we got our conditional use permit back in 2009 to move to our new location, we were actually on Martin Avenue for 15 years before we relocated here in 2009, that we had to do a shelter in place and get permits for environmental impact and intersection issues. And I was just wondering if that process is the same or has changed since then.
That's something I'm going to have staff answer directly.
Thank you.
Gloria, do you want to point it at someone?
All right, yes. Okay, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
There's a couple of things. Tiffany can respond to the issue in terms of what was discussed if she had interaction with the owner of the Airborne Gymnastics. I don't know. I had not heard that discussion about the parking ratio, but in terms of the environmental review, we did used to do more extended environmental review. However, Xander can attest that essentially CEQA was being done in reverse. And that means, is there an impact of the environment on the project? And CEQA specifically says that the job is to analyze the project on the environment. So since the gymnastics doesn't have any environmental impact in terms of an industrial area, we no longer require it. Secondly, regarding the shelter in place program, we used to require basically chemical sensing detectors and more sophisticated kind of HVAC systems that had this type of basically sensing and shelter in place program. But the fire department essentially has no longer required that. And we've actually disengaged a lot of that equipment because it's very burdensome. It's hard to maintain. It does get corroded and doesn't survive over time. And because of the basically the protocols in place under the fire code, there's essentially almost no chance for a chemical spill. And this is basically treated nationwide due to the fire codes. There's double wall containment of chemicals. There are basically redundant shutoff valves, that kind of thing. And so that kind of exposure doesn't really come into play anymore. So with that, so the incident is so minuscule that it's not a requirement anymore. We did have a condition of approval though for a shelter in place in the event that there's something else. It could be a wildfire, could be, we've had fires at a recycling center, that kind of thing. So we still have a condition for a shelter-in-place program, which is always good, or evacuation. It could be both. So essentially, we have that for some other non-industrial users in that area, in the industrial area. So yes, our process has changed, and a part of that regarding the CEQA analysis really is there was some, I think, some case law regarding that about not doing CEQA in reverse. So we've stopped that process.
Yeah, things change, things improve. Thank you. I
Yeah, and I
think,
can,
go ahead.
I was going to speak about the parking ratio. As I had mentioned in the presentation before, the applicants did request a minor modification for reduced parking on site. So that's a 22% deviation, which is below the maximum threshold of 25%. So they did provide a parking study associated with that request as well.
Okay. I think at this point, what we need to do is have an opportunity for any rebuttal, which is a 5-minute response to any comments so far by the applicant.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I wasn't sure whether Airborne Gymnastics had exhausted their full 2 minutes when they asked their question.
No, I didn't think so. And I also saw the hand go down, so I wasn't sure if there was a follow-up issue or question. So
then in that case, it is time for rebuttal. Yes, thank you.
Oh, now the hand's back up.
Okay.
Sure, I think another minute or so to request a follow-up.
We really don't need another minute. I actually do have a question. So are we no longer required to maintain the shelter in place because it does cost a lot to maintain the equipment that we have to for that? Or is that something I have to look into?
It would take an amendment to the existing conditional use permit to remove any of the conditions for your property. I would suggest contact planning to discuss the steps necessary to do that if you're interested in that process.
All right. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. And I appreciate you addressing the questions, and we do wish them luck.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Does the applicant have any rebuttal time that they'd like to use to comment on anything they've heard? It's just basically your chance to say any last words to re-enable them, I think.
Well, so we've been closed for
over a year.
for over a year. We've got over 100 kids that are really wanting to get back in waiting.
Yeah.
That we have not been able to provide services to. Once the conditional use permit is, if it is granted, what would be the next step before we can reopen? This also has caused obviously a strain financially on Twisters not being able to operate. In November of 2020, we did do a GoFundMe, which we were able to raise close to $40,000 just for this community or for the Twisters community. And it was all in good faith so that we could make it to this point. So I guess we're asking if the conditional use permit is granted, are we able to operate?
If I could mention.
Yes, please.
There are some conditions of approval that relate to the construction and verifying the occupancy. So essentially, the property that you're taking over has an occupancy for office buildings. And so the building department did provide information that says that they have to change the occupancy to I forget what the classification is, but it's like for a group setting, like for your use. And so that may entail additional structural improvements or other types of improvements that would be necessary to complete and receive a final inspection and certificate of occupancy before you could actually conduct classes on that property. So Tiffany can help you with that, and we can certainly help you with that. It may be a matter of verifying simply alone, or it could involve improvements, but we can assist you following this process. There's also, if the commission does approve the use permit, there's actually a 7-day waiting period, and that's to allow for any appeals. And once that concludes, then your permit would be active and subject to the conditions of approval. So she will need to go over all the conditions with you to make sure you understand them and what's required before you can actually commence operations.
Okay.
So Gloria, they don't have to wait to proceed to the next steps of the final process paperwork that 7 days can be in parallel to the other remaining effort. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
We always say at risk in the event somebody does appeal, but you can certainly, most people do proceed during that waiting period.
Okay.
All right. I don't see any other hands up. Is there Commissioner Akezi again?
Motion to close public hearing.
Second, Priya.
Thank you. Geez, I didn't even get to ask anyone.
I know.
The motion is to close public hearing. Commissioner Biagini?
Yes.
Commissioner Cherukuru?
Yes.
Commissioner Hero? Commissioner Hero? You may need to unmute yourself. Commissioner Wang?
Yes.
Commissioner Casey?
Yes.
Chair Salam?
Yes.
And one more time back to Commissioner Hero. Thank you. The motion passes. Thank you.
Yes, it passes unanimously. Are there other remaining questions from the commissioners? Oh, there they go, the hands. All right. Commissioner Kezi, I think still had her hand up from the first motion. Is Commissioner Cherukuru?
No, I have just one last quick question.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead then.
To help the applicant, Gloria, is there any projections on when they may be able to, provided that everything goes well, no more obstacles? When do you think they can get the occupancy, whatever they need before to open?
So I believe the condition says that they need to provide basically some information regarding the structural capacity of the building. So that could be existing as-built drawings. They have to talk to basically a permit examiner and see whether or not additional information or plans for additional improvements for the type of occupancy that would allow in that group setting. I think it's an assembly setting. So that would have to be provided. It may be a matter of information. It may actually require improvements. So
I see.
They may have to engage somebody to provide those drawings for improvements to allow for the type of occupancy for this type of use.
Let's hope that this can happen quickly then. So I'm really happy that the applicant is coming to our city, and I fully support this project, and I think the location is excellent because there are other youth-oriented businesses in the neighborhood. So and my niece and nephew have had great experience with the program that similar to what's going to be offered. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, I have 40-year-old information from when I was in school and studied designing a gym. Now, as weird as that is, it's really boils down to making sure the equipment has point loads on the floor that don't cause the floor to crack, or issues with sloping for cleaning, and it's really minor details. But hopefully, if someone with the experience in gym layout could help the applicant, they would probably zoom through it pretty quickly. I don't assume this building was built without sufficient strength to handle the weight of a weight bench and things like that. Commissioner Cherukuru.
I just wanted to ask City if there was any small business loan type of a program that can that the applicants can avail, and I do hope that they don't have extensive tenant improvements that would have shifted their fire sprinklers or HVAC. But I wanted to ask more if there was an actual ability for the applicant to avail other funding resources from the city. I know the federal grants probably allow for some loans, but I don't know if the city also had supporting funding mechanisms.
I'm not aware of a city program. I know there was some assistance during the pandemic, but we can certainly, Tiffany can certainly check and see whether there's anything available and let them know. Otherwise, as you mentioned, there are SBA loans, but those do take a while. Yeah.
Thank you. That's all, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Biagini.
Hi there. Actually, I'm in full support of the project. It makes me wish I was 18 again, but I'm just a tad bit past that. I'm prepared to make the motion if there's no other questions.
I don't see any other hands up, so please proceed.
Then I would move that we adopt the resolution to approve a use permit to allow the Youth Gymnastics Center, Twisters, located at 2800 Bowers Avenue, subject to conditions of approval.
I'll second it, so I can get a vote in today.
I was hoping somebody else would.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome again.
Okay, the motion is to approve this item. Commissioner Biagini,
Yes.
Commissioner Cherukuru,
Aye.
Commissioner Hero,
Aye.
Commissioner Wang,
Yes.
Commissioner Ikesi,
Aye.
Chair Salame.
Yes.
Thank you.
Unanimously approved. I genuinely hope there are no further major obstacles. It's kind of a poster situation where we have our first businesses opening up again after COVID. And I think it's to our benefit as the city to make sure we do everything we can to help them recover and get moving again, show some normalcy in our lives. Thank you.
Thank you for the support.
Thanks for the support. We actually live in Santa Clara.
We've lived in Santa Clara for over 10 years now. So it's the first time we will be or have the opportunity to provide services in the community in which we live. And we love living in Santa Clara. So I'm excited. Thank
you. I know there's somewhere in here I'm supposed to read about the 7-day period. I can't find it. Anyway, there's a 7-day period where someone could appeal. But while you're in that process, it's highly recommended to move on with the parallel efforts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That is all of the open agenda items. So I think we can actually move forward to reports of commission, board, liaison, and committee. Any announcements or other items that people wanted to bring up?
This is Rena. Hi, I'm going to put on my screen, just taking a second.
Okay, let us see your hand. Make sure it's getting done.
It is. I hope this goes away soon, though. I don't know if you guys can see me. I don't know what's going on with my video. But it's too bad because I have some exciting and good news that I am so excited to share with you all. Can you guys see me? It looks like
yes, I can see you anyway.
Cool. So it is award season, and I am not just referring to the Academy Awards. The American Planning Association of our local chapter here, which is in Northern California, it represents half of the state, has given really 2 awards to Santa Clara for some really outstanding planning work. And I wanted to first acknowledge the Award of Excellence that was awarded to our community groups, including Reclaiming Our Downtown, the Old Quad Resident Association, and the Santa Clara Parade of Champions for their grassroots initiative. It's actually in the category of grassroots initiative for their work to really push the rebuilding of our downtown. And I think you all know this is a big body of work, and these groups have been really pivotal to push that body of work forward. And the American Planning Association has acknowledged that with an award of excellence. And just to give you guys context, first of all, there could be no award given, someone else selected, or they could have provided an award of merit, but instead they gave it the highest award that they can give, which is an award of excellence. So wanted to share that really exciting news with you. And a little unusual for us, but we are going to be happy to take it. The City of Santa Clara and partner housing developers received another award of excellence from the Northern California chapter of the American Planning Association. This is unusual for really any city to get 2 awards. So I'm really proud of our city for these kind of accomplishments. And the award that was given, the second award, was under the category of large comprehensive plan comprehensive plan for a large jurisdiction. And that was for the Tasman East specific plan. And in particular, the award recognizes the open space, access to amenities and transportation, urban design, and really acknowledging the tremendous contribution to helping the region's affordable housing issues, or I should say housing issues in general. You know, the Planning Commission is aware, the Planning Commission was involved with the original approval of recommending approval of the specific plan in 2018. And then an amendment that we brought forward last fall that replaced a street extension into a really dynamic paseo that's going to be retail lined with bicycles and pedestrians. So it's also been swiftly implemented. Many of you know this through your participation in the Architectural Review Committee. When you participated in it, we have several projects. Almost all of the 4,500 units have been applied for, and a good percentage of those have already received planning approvals and with the building permit process, some of which, including the affordable housing project, the St. Anton Affordable Housing Project, has already begun construction. So this is a lot of work that the entire city has undertaken, and I'm so happy that the Northern chapter of California's American Planning Association has acknowledged our city for these 2 great accomplishments. Both of these awards are able to move on to the state competition. So I will keep you posted on how we do there. But I just wanted to share that exciting work and also acknowledge the Planning Commission. You know, you will be hearing the downtown precise plan, but you have already really contributed to benefiting the Tasman East area as well. So just wanted to really acknowledge you all for your contributions to that.
Thank you. That's really amazing to hear. Will we have the awards posted like within the council chamber or outside? Will we see them so the public can see them also?
These are very important questions, Chair Salim. So no, the awards ceremony is actually not going to happen until I think November because of COVID. And I think then we'll be presented with the actual plaques. And I don't know where we're going to store them. I think the community groups will get their own plaques, but Tasman East will get a city plaque, and I don't know where we'll keep it yet, but I'll let you know once we have it in possession.
I hope we'll be able to see it on the wall as people come and go out of the chambers. That would be kind of a big thumbs up for the whole city. And I really do want to thank the staff for their amazing amount of work that they do on all these simultaneous projects. I think it's stellar work. And when we went to the planner academy, it was pretty clear that there's a lot of cities that don't have anything close to the scale of development going on that we do. I'm sure there's bigger ones, but the point being is we're doing a lot for the size of our city, and I think you all deserve great credit for that. Commissioner Ikezi and then Chair Kuru.
Thank you. I want to congratulate our excellent staff for this recognition. Those massive projects were having a huge amount of work. So congratulations for getting recognized. I have one quick question. So Tasman East, the construction is starting. So are the buildings going to be, are some buildings going to be ready for occupancy by the time businesses start to open in the related project?
You know, Commissioner Casey, I don't have the exact timeline for either of those two things. It's very possible, given that the related project is so substantial in size, and an individual housing project, even though these are high rises, they're just smaller to complete, and we've already begun construction on the St. Anton project. So I really think that that's going to lead with starting off occupancy first. But I can try and reach out to our staff who are involved more with shovels in the ground kind of work with the related projects, so I can provide you more specifics of an estimated timeline. I know things slowed down a little bit during COVID as well, so related to the related project.
Okay, thank you. I mean, you know, there's no rush. Whenever you have an opportunity to tell us, if you find out, because, you know, the people who are going to be working in the businesses, they need a place to live. So thanks a lot.
Commissioner Chair Kuru.
I just wanted to acknowledge Reena's palatable excitement. It was almost infectious, Reena. You're sure it wasn't because of the hand?
You know, Commissioner Chirukuru, I was so excited when I learned about it.
It is.
Just because, you know, it is really awesome to get 2 awards.
I know.
So I'm excited for each of them, but I'm really excited that our city is like, you know, we're making, you know, a little bit of a name for ourselves.
Headlines. We're making headlines.
I'm really proud, because even though people have acknowledged staff work, and I really do appreciate that, because our staff, it's no small feat to do all this work. All of the people along the way, the planning commission, the council, these are hours of hearings that you all are sitting in on, and thick reports. And so each of you has contributed endlessly to all of this work. So but I am super excited, I know.
I wanted to personally say congratulations, Reena, but I can't, I can share that almost vivid excitement. And I truly am so grateful to be living in this city and calling it a home. And, you know, we've time and again made headlines. We've been in the top 10 best cities to live. Being a small city, we've accomplished so much, and we truly prove over and over again, this is where it's all possible. So thank you again for leading a good team and keeping our city still in the headlines. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Hear, hear.
Even from the time being on the commission, it's been kind of obvious that I had a misunderstanding about the size of Santa Clara, because I came in thinking, well, we're a small city, nothing, you know, no major effort going when I was just a resident. And now I'm seeing Tasman East and Lawrence Station, and oh my gosh, the Coleman project, Coleman Avenue projects. Each one of those by themselves is the size of a regular city in California. People don't realize that we're building cities inside of cities, and the effort it takes to do that is multiplied across all the simultaneous projects. It's a definite clap for yourself for getting through all of those. Okay. Is there any other, nope, no other comments? Any other announcements?
I did want to mention, and actually, you know, I think next on the agenda is future agenda items. Maybe it's best for that
Okay, well, we're actually up to travel and training reports, if
Okay.
any. Requests to to attend training. Is there anything for that? Nope.
Just a
Okay.
question though, Chair, I might not be related to travel, but I'd like to travel to our board chambers, I mean, our city council chambers at some point. Hopefully the vaccinations are fully, you know, prevalent and we can some point of time get back to normal, which is back in that chamber rather than virtual. I don't know the city's thoughts, but just a thought out there regarding travel.
Yeah, I'm hoping the council will address it soon. I know that they're continue as a COVID ambassador who's been through training for the county. I can tell you that there is that hesitance because bringing people into the chambers is not necessarily the level of vaccination of the people off the city side, but the concern that as we bring in public and speakers, we will have to implement pretty extensive sanitation and distancing and a lot of other things that would make in-chamber support for our efforts very difficult. But all that said, the hope is there. We're only a couple months or 3 or 4 months, maybe at most, from a point where we have hopefully reached herd immunity and things will be wonderful. So I second your desire to see us back in there. I like to get out of the house. I like to go to the meetings. I have a lot of noise in my house tonight and I'm doing everything I can to stop it. But when you're in the chamber, you're focused. And I think that's something we all look forward to. Thank you. Are there any other travel reports or requests for training?
Did want to inform the Planning Commission that, you know, I think at the last Planning Commission meeting, there was expressed interest in training on form-based codes. And there has been work happening to arrange a training. The downtown task force, as well as the city council, are interested in these topics, in this specific topic. And we've reached out to the you know, real expert consultant on this. His name is David Sargent. And we have identified a date that works on his end. And that's July 15th, I believe 4 to 6 p.m. And we now, this is possibly a joint training with 3 different kind of commissions, right? So there are a lot of people to work on schedules with. So I'm just beginning that process, but we will, you know, check in with all of you so that you can look at your calendars and hopefully this will also be recorded, but obviously this would be a live meeting, not in person, but virtually so that you could ask questions as well, right, of the consultant. So there's certainly a benefit to being there, but also a benefit so people can watch this later. But we'll reach out to all of you with this date and time. And the question I have for everyone is that, you know, we have our El Camino Real plan coming forward on May 10th. Between then and now, we're kind of working out some of these logistics to make this training happen. And there hasn't been funding necessarily identified yet for the training. And I just wanted to understand if this planning commission would be interested in using their training funds for this purpose. It's estimated to cost between $1,000 or $2,000 for the training. And so I wanted to just get a temperature check. We can do a formal, you know, action on it at the next meeting when I have more of the details. But just wanted to see if this is something worth pursuing for the Planning Commission to fund.
Well, the only question I'd have is, would this be, since it's multiple groups within the city, something we could pool our resources and get the maximum value?
I can look into that. I don't think that any other funds have been identified, you know, given COVID and such.
Yeah.
But I will look into that as well. I just wanted to use this meeting's opportunity to just see also, and if that's an issue, please share that with me. I just wanted to raise it So it wouldn't be unusual to ask at the next meeting.
Yeah, the only flag that pops to mind is I believe our budget runs out in June though, and if this meeting's in July, we'd have to pre-allocate so that it didn't vanish basically. So hopefully.
Yeah, that's an excellent point. So I think we'd have to work out invoicing and such in advance so that we could secure payment, but I'll have to work on those details.
I like to support this. I think it's an excellent use of our fund. And once we schedule this, Rena, maybe we can announce it on Facebook, because I think a lot of people outside of our organization will want to attend this. Yeah, and almost everyone I know who are involved are on Facebook. So thank you.
Nextdoor, Facebook, all the social media threads, and I think it's a good use of training money. I would guess there might be some other funds that we can kind of share the bill with, but in general, I think it's really important that we do have form-based code training. And I know there's a huge amount of interest in understanding what it is. So my 2 cents.
Oh, that's great. I think it makes perfect sense for us to put it on an agenda and get it approved so that it'll move smoother once we get to closer to the dates. Pre-allocate the funds though, that's the key, since I think we don't want any surprises in June. Okay, I don't think there's anything else into that category. So now we move to Director of Community Development reports for Planning Commission budget update. Well, what a surprise. Similarly to just what we were talking about.
Chair Selene, we actually had our budget update at the last meeting, and so I'm just going to provide the last council meeting notes.
Okay.
I don't
only if additional money came out from last time. That's all I was really trying to get a feel for. But if nothing's really changed from last time, then we can certainly move on.
Chair Salam, it's Elizabeth. We did have some funds that we used to pay the APA membership, which was approximately 500, a little less.
So we'll still have funds available for training. We're not running low.
Yes, there should be funds available.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
So actually, our next item is upcoming agenda items.
Yes.
Here before I get to council actions.
Upcoming agenda
we have
items.
The El Camino Real specific plan that's being continued.
Right. So we'll see that on the 10th. That's starting on normal time, 6 o'clock.
Yes.
Okay. Then city council actions.
Okay, so there was on consent calendar and approved without discussion. This is amendment number 1 to the affordable housing agreement with LS Santa Clara. And this is a project at 1433 and 1493 El Camino Real. Those are the projects basically right in front of City Hall. Along El Camino. And there is a loan agreement of up to $4 million to support construction of 80 affordable housing units at 3333 Kiefer Road. So that one just got approved at the development review hearing, I think about a month ago. There was also a study session on the Patrick Henry specific plan. Staff made a presentation, identified the purpose of the study session to provide an update on the progress of the specific plan, and to confirm prior to council direction related to land use, parklands, open space, amenities, and roadway network. City council members asked questions related to a possible school, potential transportation management association, relations with Sunnyvale, provision for internet for new housing, the pedestrian bridge connection to Sunnyvale, and a need for a grocery store. Council members also discussed the proposed Mission College connection, affordability, and open space requirements. 12 members of the public provided comments, with several expressing support for the plan and several expressing opposition to the proposed roadway connection to Mission College. Councilmember Jane did suggest affordability requirements between 5% of very low income, 5% low income, and 5% moderate. Vice Mayor Chahal suggested a similar distribution, but with 20% affordability requirement. So the mayor and council thank staff for the presentation and the progress on the specific plan. And the mayor did express support for the Mission College connection. And that was all for your last council meeting.
Awesome. So I believe we're at that time of the day. Does anybody want to take the honor of motion
Meeting
for adjourn?
adjourned.
Second, is this a record?
Only because it's in 2 weeks.
Okay, I think
Should
we
we
could go by
consider that a
consensus.
unanimous vote?
Yes.
Instead of a.
All
Yeah.
those in favor? Yeah, you can just.
Aye.
Consensus and
Thank you.
unanimous.
Aye, yes.
I'd like to see that
Yes.
one no.
I wouldn't.
They
Don't
can
do
stay
it.
by themselves.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you all. See you in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you,
again.
everyone.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.